a gangster mentality, corrupted by beliefs based upon their own fallacies. The corporate leaders and the wicked hounds, so they're the reason for the ammunition in the sound. Can you hear them cry? So can you hear them cry? Can you hear them cry? Why? Tell me, can you hear them cry? We won't take it anymore. With the battles being waged here at our front door. We won't take it anymore. With the
Good evening, everybody online. We just can't wait to get this show started. This is going to be a great time. And I always really enjoy introducing new bands. And I know this is not a new band, but we're going to talk like it is, and I'll tell you the story behind it. But you know, this is the weekly version of the Beat Goes On global broadcast on KCOS digitalmedia.com. If you know anyone that should be, and yes, they should be watching, direct them to, text them, KCOSdigitalmedia.com. So everything is linked on the website to YouTube, to Facebook Live, or if you already are, a member of our YouTube channel, if you liked our Facebook page, it's streaming there too. So we are ready for, and I love discovering new bands. I actively go and research on Facebook and find really interesting bands that equate well to the format. And these people are just a joy to talk to immediately, really. If you look at the event page, check out the video samples, of course after the show. But we want everyone to go and hit the like button on the sound industry Facebook page, because we're going to tell the story of this, in my opinion, and I hope you trust my opinion by now after almost 250 shows. This is a band to watch. So I'm going to unleash for the first 3 songs, as we always do, so you can see what everything is going to be like for the rest of the show. I want to introduce the sound industry.
Friends we used to know. Say goodbye before we say hello. spring. Say hello to a brand new ball and chain. Hey, just a fire wall. We all know what it's for. You know it's never been clear. Baby's messing with my mind. You better stop your bitching right now. You're scratching and you're clawing, and then we start to brawl with it. You push me to the edge, get me on my head. Tell me that you need me right now. Messing with my mind. You know you got me shaking, my concentration's breaking me down. Pushing and you're shoving and dragging all my loving to the ground. Driving me insane, just a thing on my brain. Then you tell me that you cry. My baby's messing with my mind. is messing with my mind. That girl is sitting me on the time. You know she's messing with my mind. Yeah, that's what happened with that bitch. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hey, you guys are great. This one's called Bringer of Pain. Drop the mic. Somebody drop
yeah, my mic went. Brandon? Something, okay, there we go. Yeah, he must have muted me because I was feeding back a while ago. Yeah, you bet you weren't expecting this, were you? No, this is, I got really excited, and especially, like I say, if you've seen the videos that are on the event page, these guys are very creative, and we're going to talk about their story in between some of these incredible songs that they've got in a great set list, divided up into two segments like we always do, and you know, there is music available in, and I can honestly say that I'm very happy to say when I go out babbling about stuff like, you know, when you send music to us, it would be really great if all the metadata and stuff was included.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Denise listened, and yeah, I mean, she said, I listened to you, and it wasn't even like, really, do I have to do that? But no, all kidding aside, I mean, you know, we may joke around about this being, you know, the less professional station in town, but we don't mind because we own it and we can do it. But we're very serious when we say, you know, we want to do some mentoring of bands that, you know, everybody in this area, no matter how many likes, follows, whatever, can always use a little bit of advice.
When it comes to the internet, it's like some of us older people, you know, we have to rely on our kids to find out what's going on.
Oh man, here's Denise going, older people. Okay, have you seen me? Can you see me from the stage? Well, yeah, I won't say anything about glasses, but no, it's an industry that is driven by over-the-top technology, and if you're not on top of even some of the basic stuff, it's a little tricky to get noticed. And the story about this band that I really enjoy is a story of a couple of bands that we've had here before. They are basically a studio band that is looking to immediately go huge. And we'll talk about that in a segment or two. But I'm really enjoying this music, and so are the people that are watching online that I can see through the comments and the view on the watch party and stuff. So if you want to do another 3 songs, man, let's tear this up. And I hope everyone's enjoying the sound industry on KCOSdigitalmedia.com.
Yeah. We're going to do something a little bit different for you. This is a little bit more on the mellow side.
Our bass lost his guitar. Well, now's a good time to ask us some of those questions.
I know, it was right before a solo, right?
He was going to do a great, awesome lead there, too.
Oh, man. Well, you know, this is just a perfect time because to recap what the songs you did at the point that in the 3-song intro, they did a song called Living in Fear. Next was Baby's Messing with My Mind. How opportune. No,
it's kind of our surf punk song.
You know, yeah. I mean, what a mix of styles already. And then the Bringer of Pain. So, okay, what goes into these titles? Because the next one on the list is a Twin Peaks kind of theme song.
Yeah. Well, we take our inspiration from a lot of different places. Like the song we're just doing there is just called The Jazzy Thing, and it's just because we never could come up. It doesn't have a chorus, so we decided we just call it The Jazzy Thing. So that's what we always called it.
You know, it's always...
We didn't think we should be limited to any one genre. And that's kind of where our name comes from, the sound industry. We didn't want to be limited to any one particular sound.
I like that.
We'll steal stuff from everywhere. I'll steal stuff from like hip hop and trap, but I'll also go into like full orchestras, and I'll bring in violins and trumpets and just anything I can find, and I'll even bring in like a cinematic library. So I can bring in like, little bird noises that you'll hear and stuff like that.
That's
So,
cool. It's gonna be
Like no limits on what was out there, and that's one of the reasons we wanted to go with an electronic drums, was so that we could bring out that full drum sound. That I used to play drums for 10 years, so I was very familiar with how to get a rock and roll drum sound, but I wanted to go beyond that.
Oh, and
I
you
wanted
were
to bring
talking-
in drums from everywhere.
You were talking Neil Peart stuff before the show, yeah. And,
I wish I was Neil Peart, but I can program like him.
I know, huh? Now the whole catalog's up
And I can
for-
use 10 of him at the same time.
Yeah. And that's another thing I wanted to say. I don't know, they got a backdrop with their videos actually going along with songs. I don't know how well that's working on the video. I'm looking at our monitor and I'm going, it's a little dark, but is there any way that we can
Kill the stage light.
kill the stage lights? You want to do that, and you want to just keep in the stage? Can we do that, Brandon? See, this is what we do on live internet radio.
Aren't you guys glad my bass broke?
Do we want to take that one? Let's take that one from the top.
All right, yeah. Well,
Sorry for the complications.
let's do Jazzy Thing
That's why you guys call that layer one.
again for the first time.
This just seems to be our gig to have problems.
And this, like I said, this is a live broadcast, and I watch an awful lot of stuff, and there's not many of us that do this in Colorado, but there are a few, and the slick production is maybe a half hour. We're a 2-hour live show, and stuff like this does happen, but this. When we get around to...
That's okay, I like to chit-chat for a while.
That's the perfect thing, because you've got a wealth of experience in doing these videos, as you said, with 28 years as an editor.
Been doing video editing for about 20 years. And been doing rock and roll now for about 40.
And you look...
Started playing when I was 12.
You look like 25.
But I actually, Randy and I met together in a band about 28 years ago. And I was auditioning for a guitarist who could play lead better than I could. And I can play lead pretty good, but I wanted something special, and he was something special. And we played together for years.
Various incarnations for the last 25 plus years, yeah.
And at least 4 or 5 different band variations and band names. The latest one is now Sound Industry. We used to be the Sleep Hackers, and we played in that for about 3-4 years, but we actually had an acoustic drummer back then. And then when our drummer moved on to play tuba, we decided to
He
change
was
up to
called.
something different that I was thinking about for a long time, and I wanted to try going with an electronic drum sound. A lot of what you hear in the modern music, and I wanted to bring in a lot of those elements into a rock and roll, garage band sound that we've been running for all my life.
Have you ever heard of a band called Drum and Tuba?
No.
Drum and Tuba. They played Denver a few times. I think they're from California, but it's a drummer and a tuba player. But of course,
Whatever
it's
you can bring into work.
electrified, and it's really interesting stuff. It's I like the bizarre. I like the unique. I like the well thought.
Good God.
Wow, man, someone's doing
Monster sound going
I
on.
know.
Sounds like a bad chord.
Yes, all the gremlins have been with us here tonight.
Okay. I think we'll try for round 3 on Jazzy thing.
Well, so what we can do on the edited version is like
Just cut all that out.
Well, no, it's like what they do on CD reissues now. They'll do the original album and then they'll put, take 2, take 3, the alternate version. We have more than enough footage for blooper reels, and All right.
Again.
All right. Well, I want to, thank everybody for sticking with us and once again listening to me. But Denise is, man, let's get into it.
Thank you.
That was well worth the wait.
Made it through the whole song.
Yeah, we got through
All that build-up. I hope I didn't disappoint.
As we live out in the night, distant darkness overnight. I see her crying, she's lost beyond all hope. Madman howls inside my head, is that what Lord Paul said? Yeah. I passed by her grave the night. She smiled and told me it's alright to cry. A heart divided said I don't feel whole. Feel the madman at my throat. Is that what Lord Paul wrote? A secret diary, hidden the secret breathing. Oh, he kept a secret safe until the end. Walls closed in on him, couldn't stand the din. The owls are not what they see. What the past is all about. Small man danced inside my head. Is that what Lord Paul said to me? 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 Thank you. All right, we're going to let Denise sing one here. I suppose we'll allow her to.
That was called "Thy Will Become."
Let me say this about that. You guys, okay, so this, I understood, very beginning, and then I started to realize, okay, so this is kind of a debut for you guys, but with all this experience that you guys have been talking about between yourselves and the way you have your stage presence and the musicianship quality and tone are amazing. This is the joy of discovery, So this is kind of like your first debut, right?
Yeah, this is the first time we've played this with this.
This is our
arrangement in front
first
of people.
show as the sound industry.
And,
Yeah,
and the
we're kinda
crowd's
scared.
going wild, I know. But no, this is the great thing about that. I really, first of all, it's like, once again, I got to thank you guys for coming down all the way down from Wheat Ridge. I mean,
It was a fun drive, let me tell you.
you
A little
know,
On
snowy.
the way home.
yeah,
I hope the highway's open. But
yeah.
Highway 83 the whole way.
Well, that's true too. Yeah, for all the people that know the
Not very often
number,
I say
the
this. Thank God for Parker
numerology.
Road.
Yeah,
The three of us have been playing together for about 15 years.
man.
Because about 15 years ago, there was Randy and I were still playing in a different band called Kane at the time. And Steve was playing in a band called Headband that
Some
we kind of
co-employees.
joined into, and I ended up being a drummer for 10 years.
we kind of started playing with that band because they were rehearsing in our basement. So, we might as well
just kinda
join
happened.
in. So, yeah, it just kind of happened. And, since then, things have evolved.
Well,
Got
that's,
a couple bands with Steve here now.
Some subtraction and some addition. Here
that's
we are.
that's better than some of the Craigslist stories that we've heard. It's amazing how people get together and they come together from different places. They know of each other. They experiment, collaborate, and boom! Now you're in your incarnation.
Your band is your dysfunctional family that you get to choose.
Well, and that's usually true too. Yeah, we see that a lot, and within KCOS are members of two working bands, and yeah,
It's good to have a group that sticks together. And you learn to play
That's
off
true.
of one another.
Very true.
And you learn to accent each other's strengths. So speaking of strength,
Oh man, yeah. Let's hear.
let's do a song called Loser.
I know. I was gonna say that sounds good to me.
Oh, the house tonight, looking for trouble or looking for fights. I don't have patience, I don't like rules. I'm sick of my life and I'm sick of you. Oh yeah. Loser. Yeah, that's right. Loser. Talk to you. Loser. Smashing the windows, kicking in doors. The life's of all pleasures that I so adore. I roll up from kick him in the head. Just a little trick, don't you wish I was dead? Oh yeah! Loser. Loser. Yeah, go sleep on the couch. Loser. Loser. some milk and eggs. Then she screamed and said it was good. I'm doing things that you wish you could. Oh yeah. Loser. Loser. Could you get that? Loser. Fuck you. Loser. Loser. Fuck the goose. Loser. Yeah. Loser. Ha.
All right. This next one's our big dance number, so I want to see the dance floor packed on this one. So what if there's no one to dance with?
Dance with this stuff.
You know it's no good. You know it's a lie. Lights are on. I still had to try. I saw right through it. I couldn't believe. No, it wasn't right. It had to be. I'm sorry, Bob. I'm sorry. Far to go. It's hard, what it is hard to know. A pig in a poke, a hook in the eye, a stain on the floor, an awkward goodbye. Can't help but wonder whose side you're on. Maybe it's me, or maybe I'm all wrong. I'm sorry, that's so bad, far to go. It's hard, what it is hard to know. Well, 7 years ago, when all this began, you knew what you wanted, you had it all planned. Take what you needed, ride with the tide.
call that our funky thing.
Wow. You guys are good. You guys are good.
Well, we're really glad we got an opportunity to play